I've noticed there's a bit of boxwood stringing missing here. I just need to clean the old glue out. I've got a piece of boxwood stringing which is the right width, but it's not deep enough. This is cut a lot deeper than the stringing. Put it on its side, it's not wide enough. And the top of this is sort of rough sawn. So I'm going to use a thicker piece and plane it down. So that fits. I need to cut the mitres on the ends, get it to length. Put a little arrow there because it planes that way on that top surface. So when it's glued in, I'll be able to skim the top off from this side. It's going to be easier from this side than over here. So the rest of the case now is stripped and cleaned. The only thing left to do is this, where the mouldings come adrift. There's a bit of a gap there. So I can't just put some glue in and push it back because there's too much pressure. So I'm going to have to take this off, clean all the glue off, flatten it out and get it to sit correctly, and glue it back on. So normally when I get these off, I use a load of blades, just tap them in. But this is in the way. The other side's no good because it's veneered, so I'm going to try in the end and see if that works. Otherwise I'll have to stick a chisel in and try and get it off that way. So I'll check this bit first, which seems reasonably flat, but where the moulding is, it's not. So when the moulding's on, it doesn't sit very well. So I'll either have to flatten this off or plane a curve in that. And usually it's easier to do this than flatten that off. So it's reasonably flat now, but if I glue it on, it's a little bit low. So I'll put a strip of veneer on, glue that down, and that on top, and everything lines up pretty well. there is a little bit of a gap there, but it's a lot better than it was, so you'd hardly notice that unless you're really looking for it. I'm just going to start by painting around all the bits I've spliced in, because they're going to need a little bit of colour adding to them. Try not to go over the line. Just going to start by building up a few layers of colour. I think I might just need a little bit of brown on that afterwards. I went around the edge a lot more because where I'd used the mop, it overlapped a bit, so it just dissolves it and evens it out a bit more. So now I'll just need to go over it a few more times, then cut it back. I'm using garnet polish on this. It's like button polish, but it's just darker. They're all different forms of French polish. So this needs cutting back again with 4-row wire wool. And hopefully it won't need any more polish. I've cleaned a lot of the muck off this panel, this bubbly polish, but I'm beginning to lose some of the decoration now, so I'm not going to be able to save any of that. I was just going to clean it off and paint over it so I've got the pattern underneath so I can something to copy, but there's just no way I'm going to do that because a lot of the black's missing as well, so it's not going to work. The only thing I can do is trace the pattern best I can and then strip it, paint it black and do it again. But I also need to try and work out how to do that face. The keyhole pipe's missing on the door. I should have done it before I polished it. I'm hoping I'll get it out of this little offcut of brass. I'm just painting the inside edge of that brass pipe because it would never be shiny, it would always be built up with dirt, it would always be black. apart from the panels, that's the case finished. I'll just put the door back on and the dial mask's just resting inside. Until I get the panels in, I can't fit them properly, but that's it done. The feet do exist, they're just not going on because they won't fit the case in the house with the feet on. So that's what it's like at the moment. Now, what to do about the panels. I've drawn up one of the side ones. I've not drawn the middle one up yet, but I'm not so keen on stripping these and repainting them because once it's gone and it'll look brand new. So I think the best bet is cut some more panels out, paint those, put those in, and keep these with the clock. And I think that is my best option rather than losing this. I'm going to finish this video at this point. I'll come back to these later on. I'll probably put something else up next week. I've got a chair I'm restoring, so I'll put that up. And I'll come back to these later on and show you how I've got on.